Hi everybody, and welcome to Murse Monday, a weekly show where we bring a thought from a nurse's perspective. My name's Zach Gordon. I'm a registered nurse. I started off as a janitor in nursing homes and worked my way up as a CNA, LPN, and then RN. I'm the inventor of Memesto.com if you wanted to learn more on that, but I'm sure we're going to touch on that. Tonight, I wanted to talk about some research that I was doing. It was my day off from work today, so I was spending a little time doing some research, and I watched a really interesting TED Talk from a guy, Rudy Tanzi. He's a Harvard scientist who developed one of the first genes of Alzheimer's. He's one of the leading scientists on Alzheimer's research, and he's had some really interesting things. The first thing I want to point out is he basically apologized for the last portion of research that they've done because they really were looking in the completely wrong spot. I think that's huge because in brain science, we know so little, but we will eventually, but right now we know so little, so it takes a lot to admit that we really didn't know the direction we're going. Another point that he made is something that I've said on this channel before, which kind of made me pat myself on the back, is that, this disease, we're just learning to deal with it because with conventional medicine, we are outliving our minds. Our minds are deteriorating before our bodies. So we need to come up with different ways to deal with it. Another thing is, this is one of the only diseases that we don't treat upon the symptom or upon the arrival of the issue. The beta amyloid, these plaques that build up and cause these clusters in the mind and the confusion and all these problems with the neurotransmitters. And I'm trying to keep this simple. You can watch this TED Talk and it gets really in depth. But the plaques and the tangles that cause the memory issues are caused by bacteria, and they're caused by different things. And that's another thing that I learned today is that our brains aren't sterile. And for so long that was like a common thought that I guess we always thought, unless there was an infection or some breach of barrier, that our brains were pretty essentially sterile. But they're finding that there's yeast or these different molds or different bacterias cause these plaques and the degeneration. So, like I was saying, this is the only disease that we're treating once the symptoms get so bad. And he had a wonderful example for that. It's like someone coming in for a heart attack and telling them we need to work on their cholesterol. It doesn't make any sense. The beta amyloid plaques and these clusters are building up 20 years before the symptoms are exhibited. So, like I see all the time, where a family member comes in and they're like, oh, mom did this, this, and this, and they put all these pieces of the puzzle together, it's increased confusion and these buildup of symptoms of when we're realizing it. There are scans that can see these different buildups of plaques now, and we are getting better with actually seeing it. But the brain is something we don't even understand currently, and the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just screaming in my head, Memesto. All the things that he was saying about how music therapy is such a positive effect, and as a nurse, one of the first things that we do is call the family when they're having these behaviors. It's some of these simple things. We really need to take a step back, because I was a nurse in this long-term care setting, and what we're doing is the best we can do right now, but it needs to be adjusted and made better. Anyway, another tidbit I want to leave you, because I want to leave you with a little bit of positive information tonight, and this is what a lot of these came from just watching this TEDx Talks, was sleep, learn, exercise, and diet, and meditate. And so that means, get 8 hours of sleep, try to learn something every day, stimulate your mind, whether it's a crossword puzzle or something, or a word search. Exercise, do some exercise where you're out there walking, getting the blood pumped to your brain so things are moving around. And he said a Mediterranean diet. If anybody has any Mediterranean diet recipes, leave them below. He said that's the best diet. Another thing that excited me about what he was talking about was meditation. Meditation is such a simple thing. When I moved out to Colorado and really took a step back from a lot of things, I was finding that meditation and yoga and these simple practices that we don't always always implement in current medicine, they have such a positive benefit, and I'm seeing more of a push for it. Even at where I work, one of our last corporate in-services, we went through a segment where we meditated as a group, and so it's just really, this holistic approach is coming, and so I'm excited about that, because even like what he said, for so long we're treating this beta amyloid plaque, and really all we can do is maintain. By the time we get to the treating it, it's already so bad that there's not much that we can do. So really throw out what we've done so far and let's restart, is what kind of what he was saying. I mean, I know that there's a lot of promising things going on, and the Bill Gates Foundation donated a lot of money, but I have a tool right now that I created because I had a patient who was trying to get out of the door to see her daughter, to get her kids. I recorded a message from her daughter, because I would call her daughter all the time and that would resolve the situation. I recorded a message from her daughter on my phone and started playing it for her, and I saw it work so well. That inspired me to build Momesto. Momesto is a music player that's designed for the confused population, and it also has the capability to have messages and repetitive messages play. So for these certain behaviors that we're exhibiting, let's find the root cause. If you have someone that's exit seeking, if you have someone that's getting out of bed, if you have someone that has exhibiting these sort of problems, please message me, comment, like this, share this if you know somebody who's affected by this. This show that I do each week is just to bring value. I'm a nurse in the profession of healthcare in America, and I want to make it a little bit better. Momesto, M-E-M-E-S-T-O, is what we're doing to make things a little bit better, and I'm excited to share more with you. And if you want to learn anything, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, tonight I wanted to touch on what Rudy Tanzi has been sharing in a TED Talk that I talked to him, and to show you that even as nurses, as healthcare workers, on our days off, we got to take time and really learn, because medicine is something that's constantly evolving, constantly changing, and we need to go with it. So why not learn a little bit and get on there? There's a lot of interesting things out there, and like I said, he's the leading guy on Alzheimer's research, and he admitted to not exactly knowing what was going on. So that's got to really pat the people on their back that's dealing with this disease. Don't be so hard on yourself if you're taking care of someone. The leading scientists of Alzheimer's research and genetic research didn't know what was going on, so take it easy. We're just here to make the best quality of life we can. Momesto will help that. Anyway, my name is Zach Gordon. I'm a registered nurse by profession. This show is Murse Monday, and I appreciate you being involved. Leave a comment or share this video. Thank you so much.